Hey folks, welcome back to the Via Pinstriping page. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching. We're just going to do another quick design here. You can follow along if you'd like. I'm using the Kafka number 1 scroller. I'm using red one-shot paint. I think it's the bright red. I think that's what it's called. And I have this panel here from the Alpha 6 Corporation. It's just a blank aluminum panel. Those lines are pretty blotchy today, but we're just going to try to focus on the design. I'm trying to do this before I have to leave for work, so if they're a little funky, I ain't fixing nothing today. So I think I was just pushing down too hard. So we're just making your general teardrop shape, right? I started in the middle, I tapered outward, and I'm coming back inward at a minor slope all the way down to the middle. Now my left line here is much thinner than the right one. Let me make sure y'all could see this stuff. But I didn't quite get the paint ready as I normally would, because, you know, line weight and line consistency is going to be, it's very important. But for now, we're going to focus more on the design than we are the line weight. I'm going to do my best now, so I'm going to come out of here, right? I'm going to go down and I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to keep building off of the design in ways that look like it makes sense, since we're doing a vertical symmetrical design. I'm paletting in between. You may actually hear it, may not, but I'm paletting and reducing a little bit in between. You have to get your paint right in between each stroke, right? If you notice, I'm right-handed, so I do the left side first. There's a less chance of me sticking my finger in the paint. If I do the right side first, there's more chance of me sticking my finger in the paint, because I've already done this side, so I could, you know, small chance of that happening. Some folks say it's best to do your least, whatever side you have the hardest time with, you want to do that side first. So some folks go by that rule of thumb. And oddly enough, usually it's my right side that I have the hardest time with. Give me 1 second. I noticed that the picture's a little hazy, so I'm just going to wipe the camera just real fast. Sorry about that. There you go. Now I'm reducing. Currently here in Florida, it's actually colder than normal, so it's probably like 50 something in this room. Maybe not that cold. Maybe 60 something. So the paint's a little thicker than normal. Usually we're battling heat quite a bit. All right, so we've been coming from the middle outward. So this time we're going to come outward, inward, right? And we're just going to kind of follow the same lines a little bit, right? This type of design just kind of utilizes a lot of similar lines going downward and such. And even if we were to do a secondary color, you'd probably still do quite a bit of this downward action to create this particular type of design. Paletting in between, as always. Oh, and if you noticed, I have a little sleeve here on this Kafka #1. That's actually a heat shrink tube. The handle came off of the metal ferrule there, and I put some glue on it, and then I heat shrinked it, and it really helps to grab it better. It actually gives you a little bit more grip. At least in my case, it does, because that's roughly I hold it roughly there. Everybody holds these things differently. So, all right, so this time we're going to do a slight S curve coming out and coming back in. Just to break it up a little bit. And reducing in between, as always. And we've actually gotten rain. Probably we got rain for the last 24 hours. It's been raining, and I'm hoping that we get rain early before the hurricanes, and then maybe the hurricanes will leave us alone this year. We kind of got hit pretty hard last year. Fortunately, there was not a ton of damage, but this room that I'm in currently did get flooded by, oh, I'd say about 1 inch of water, not even 1 inch, especially on one side. So we had to rip up the floors. And I got new flooring out of it. I am renting, so I'm renting from my brother. So my brother had to do the work to get the floors in, but we had to do the work to get them up. So now we have kind of a nice shape to this. I'm just gonna add just a little fat teardrop shape here at the bottom, just to kind of give it a base. Push down and lift up and flick, right? You could see that I sort of stopped and started in the middle of that, so I'm just gonna round it out just a little bit more. If they're not very fluid, you kind of get these kind of start and stop motions within it. Same thing with the lines. If you're not fluid with it, if you're not going at a steady pace, you end up with these weird kind of blobs. That's where I think I notice when I see people first starting out, they're just kind of like moving fast, and you get a lot of streaks. So try to pay attention to the speed in which I do things. Some people are faster, but you want nice and steady is what you want. So we're gonna kind of mimic this. We're gonna start a little bit lower. We're gonna go in, and we're gonna follow. We're just building on the design. And again, some folks say, well, how do you know which way to go? I study designs. I study every time I go to a car show. I hate to say this, but I almost stop looking at the cars as much as I'm looking for pinstriping. I love cars, but since this is sort of something that I do, I'm always looking at the pinstriping and trying to gather why things look cool to me. And that's really the main question that I ask myself. Why does that look cool? Why does that one not look cool? Or whatever, you know? And I try to dissect what I see and what is appealing to me. What's so appealing about that particular one? I saw this car that had minimal pinstriping. And to be completely honest, pinstriping should be minimal. It should be on a vehicle, like adding salt to food or adding flavor, or it should be like just enough, right? Depending on the car. And I saw some pinstriping that was so delicate, so fine, and so well executed, and you could barely see it. Ugh, it was so nice. You couldn't really even get a picture of it because it was so delicate. So, study designs. If you can, save them to your phone and look at them. So we got plenty of this. So let's try to do a little cut in. We're just going to go down. You know, I don't have a grid. I'm working off the center line, right? No grid. We're just going to guess here. Go out. And the reason I'm saying I'm gonna guess is because I'm about to cross through all that. It's a little risky, but we're gonna give it a shot. You know what? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cross and connect, right? So let's see. I'm gonna start on this side because I really do have a harder time with the right side sometimes. Let's start on this side and cross, come over, and connect. I probably should have connected on the inside of that, but it's okay. Made the outside a little thicker. Got a little muddied, but we're gonna stick with it. You know what we can do is we can actually just, to make it less muddy, we can actually just fill that in. It's sort of a fix. It just looked muddy to me. So we're gonna fill that in, right? And we're gonna do the same thing here. You wanna make sure you have the same arc, right? You want it to really cross right there. You want there to be a nice V right at the center of that. Right, so we're gonna mimic it real fast before we do it, right? We didn't go up at all. It seems like we just pushed down and went for it. So let's try that. Push down. We'll try to really make sure that lands perfect. Right, go down, come around, and connect. We're gonna round this off just a little bit. It's kind of getting a little funky there. I could feel the paint already drying up in my brush. That's how fast the consistency changes, for me at least. Some people can get a lot more use out of when they reduce. Right, so now we're gonna double up. We're gonna double up on this line here. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Trying not to breathe into the camera. Right, try to get it roughly the same angle. Right, so now we have a really nice diamond in the middle there. Now, let's end this, right? So this one sticks out just a little bit more. I'm gonna just push this one out just a little bit more to match the other side, right? I'm gonna go in like that, go in like that. Now, you noticed I went from the tip inward, and this time on this side, I went from inward to the tip. That's just because it's easier than me flexing my whole wrist this way, right? At least right now, okay? The way I'm sitting and the way I'm positioned. I've had folks ask me, well, why'd you go that way? Why'd you go this way instead of like the other one? And that's the reason. It's just physically, right now, the way I'm sitting, the way I am, it's easier for me to do this. Right? We're gonna come back out one more time. And this is just kind of giving it, I don't know, a little bit of a spiky feel, kind of. A little bit of some framing, maybe you can call it. Right? And I think we'll just go in. We'll touch right there. Right? Then we'll go in from here. Touch, whoops. Started going, I want it to be convexed a little, not concaved. Right, so there's your little design, folks. Roughly took me, what, 15-20 minutes. Please forgive my line weight. I was kind of rushing it a little bit. Again, I got this frame from the Alpha 6 Corporation. It's just an aluminum piece of metal. I believe there are other methods of getting just painted aluminum metal, but I got this a long time ago, so I just kind of reuse it. That's one-shot paint, bright red, and my trusty Kafka #1 scroller from Steve Kafka. Shout out to Steve Kafka. These are my favorite brushes, but there are other ones that I like to use as well sometimes, that are basically clones of these from other companies. I know it's upsetting to Steve for the ones that are mimicking this brush. I know he gets upset. Have a wonderful day, folks. Don't get caught up in the negativity of life. Pull out your brushes, do a design. It's a lot better. It's a lot better than all of the nonsense that people are going back and forth about. Let's create instead. Let's make things. It's better for the world. All right. Have a good day, and let me know what you think in the comment section. I really appreciate the comments. If you could give it a like, that helps out a lot. If you could share it, that helps out a lot. You know, sometimes I get like thousands of views and I get like 35 likes or like 3 comments. So I could tell people are watching, but just leave me a comment, say hello. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.